In the endless darkness of the deep ocean, where sunlight never reaches, massive steel leviathans glide silently through the void, like invisible ghosts. Each stretches over 300 feet long, carrying enough nuclear firepower to wipe an entire continent off the map in the blink of an eye. No one knows where they are, no one hears them approach, and no one can ever be sure when the launch button might be pressed. A single strike from beneath the waves could turn dozens of cities into ashes within minutes. This isn't a scene from a science fiction movie, it's a terrifying reality that exists all around us. Today, Black Ops Files takes you deep below the surface to explore the 7 most fearsome nuclear submarines ever built, silent giants capable of changing the fate of humanity at any moment. In the modern world of warfare, where technology and deterrence define the balance of power, most people imagine weapons of mass destruction as towering machines, huge, menacing, and impossible to ignore. But sometimes, the most frightening weapons are the ones that move in perfect silence, small, elusive, and deadly, precisely because they can vanish without a trace. This is best illustrated by France's Rubis-class nuclear attack submarine. At just over 230 feet long, the Rubis is the smallest nuclear attack sub in the world, yet it remains one of the most dangerous phantoms in the ocean. Its compact size isn't a weakness, it's its greatest advantage. Rubis can slip into shallower waters where larger subs dare not go, weaving through enemy fleets to get within striking range completely undetected. Its nuclear propulsion system allows it to stay submerged for months at a time, turning it into a patient predator, always waiting for the perfect moment to strike. What makes the Rubis truly terrifying isn't just its stealth, it's the arsenal it carries. Its heavy F-17 torpedoes can easily pierce the hull of a destroyer or frigate, while the Exocet SM-39 anti-ship missiles can be fired from underwater, breaking the surface and obliterating an enemy warship in seconds. Imagine an enemy fleet cruising safely across the Mediterranean. Clear skies, calm waters. What they don't realize is that just beneath the waves, a Rubis is stalking them. Then, in a flash, a missile erupts from the sea, slams into a warship, and turns it into a blazing heap of twisted metal. Before anyone can react, the Rubis has already vanished, diving deep into the darkness once again. That is the power of silence. The attacker is never seen, and the fear lingers because no one knows when the next strike will come. But Rubis is more than just a weapon. It's a reflection of France's military philosophy. As a unique member of NATO, France must maintain a credible nuclear deterrent without engaging in the size and cost arms race of the US or Russia. By developing smaller yet highly effective submarines, France has proven that true power lies not in size, but in strategic efficiency. The Rubis, in essence, is a hidden dagger, small, swift, and always ready to strike a fatal blow when the moment demands it. If the Rubis represents the idea of small but deadly, then Britain's Astute-class submarines embody an entirely different philosophy: raw power through advanced technology and relentless innovation. Stretching over 330 feet long, the Astute is among the most advanced submarines ever built for the Royal Navy, a masterpiece of modern maritime engineering and a symbol of British naval excellence. What makes the Astute-class truly remarkable is its nuclear reactor, a marvel of engineering that can operate for the entire lifespan of the submarine without ever needing to be refueled. In practical terms, that means it can remain at sea for decades, only returning to port to resupply food and essentials for the crew. This gives the Royal Navy an enormous strategic advantage: the ability to maintain a hidden and enduring presence in any ocean on Earth. The Astute's arsenal makes it an equally formidable predator. Its heavyweight Spearfish torpedoes can take down a warship with a single hit, while Tomahawk cruise missiles give it the power to strike land targets more than 1,000 miles away. In other words, an Astute silently patrolling beneath the Arctic could still deliver a precise strike on a military base deep inside enemy territory. In the modern era where warfare is no longer confined to open seas, the ability to launch attacks from beneath the ocean, all the way to targets on land, is a game-changing advantage. It's no wonder NATO once described the Astute as a ghost of the ocean. Its near-total silence makes detection almost impossible, even for the most advanced sonar systems. Picture this: an Astute shadowing an enemy fleet for weeks. No one knows it's there. No radar, no sonar, no trace. Then, with a single command, torpedoes and missiles unleash chaos from the depths. crippling the entire enemy fleet before they even realize what's happened. This fusion of stealth, endurance, and long-range firepower has made the Astute a symbol of British naval strength in the 21st century. It's not just a tool of deterrence, it's a statement. A reminder that even without a vast empire, Britain can still project fear from the seas to any corner of the world. The Rubis and the Astute share one essential truth. A nuclear submarine doesn't have to be gigantic to be terrifying. France has mastered compact agility. Britain, cutting-edge technology, and deadly silence. Together, they represent two different philosophies within the same global balance of power, each nation finding its own way to achieve strategic dominance. In a broader sense, submarines like these have helped preserve the world's fragile equilibrium for decades. Everyone understands that a full-scale conflict involving them would mean catastrophe. Their existence isn't merely to fight wars, it's to prevent them, even before the first thought of aggression takes hold. And when we speak of undersea monsters, one name cannot be ignored. Russia's Yasin-class submarine, known in the West as the Carrier Killer. In naval warfare, few things are more terrifying than the idea that an entire fleet built around a massive aircraft carrier could be threatened by a single, silent phantom gliding in the deep. The Yasin, over 430 feet long, is powered by a next-generation nuclear reactor that lets it operate for months without surfacing. But what truly makes it a nightmare is its extraordinary stealth. Even the US Navy's most advanced detection systems have admitted difficulty in tracking it. For carrier strike groups that rely on cutting-edge radar and sonar for protection, the presence of an enemy they can't detect means their entire advantage could vanish in seconds. And then there's its weaponry, what turns the Yasin from a hunter into a terror. Its hypersonic Zircon missiles can reach speeds exceeding 8,000 kilometers per hour, fast enough to pierce any known air defense system on the planet. A single missile salvo from the Yasin is enough to cripple an entire fleet before it can even react. Beyond that, the submarine is armed with Caliber cruise missiles, long-range weapons capable of striking land targets thousands of kilometers away. Its heavyweight torpedoes can reduce destroyers and cruisers to burning wrecks in seconds. Imagine this. A U.S. aircraft carrier sails confidently across the Pacific, surrounded by layers of escort ships. But deep below, a Yasin lurks silent, patient, waiting. Then suddenly, a barrage of Zircon hypersonic missiles erupts from the depths like thunder. In an instant, the mighty carrier becomes a floating inferno, a graveyard blazing on the ocean's surface. That is the image Russia wants burned into the minds of its adversaries. Overwhelming power erased in a single strike from the deep. Yet the Yasin isn't just a weapon of destruction. It's a symbol of strategic deterrence. In the global arms race, Moscow knows it can't match Washington's sheer number of aircraft carriers or surface warships. So instead of competing ship for ship, Russia has focused on developing secret weapons beneath the waves, where silence and surprise can level the playing field. The Yasin is a reminder that in any potential conflict, Russia still has the means to deliver a devastating counterblow, forcing its rivals to think twice before acting rashly. With its arrival, the very concept of absolute safety at sea has all but vanished. If the Yasin represents raw power and the ability to annihilate instantly, then America's Virginia-class submarines embody technological perfection and multi-role versatility in modern warfare. Each Virginia, stretching more than 377 feet long, is designed as a fully integrated undersea combat platform. More than just a stealth hunter, it serves as a mobile command center, capable of turning any ocean into an American battle space. Armed with heavyweight torpedoes and Tomahawk cruise missiles that can strike over 1,500 kilometers away, the Virginia can hit both sea and land targets with pinpoint precision. But its power doesn't stop there. The Virginia can deploy special operations teams for covert missions, plant sea mines, and coordinate with underwater drone systems to expand its surveillance and control network. What truly sets it apart, however, is its cutting-edge electronic warfare capability. The Virginia can gather intelligence, intercept communications, jam enemy systems, or even disable them without ever firing a shot. In a world where information itself is a weapon, this submarine becomes the ultimate tool. It can attack, defend, and dominate the battlefield entirely from the shadows. What's most unsettling is that the US Navy already operates dozens of Virginias across the world's oceans. That means almost any nation, anywhere, could already be within their crosshairs and never know it. Their invisible presence serves as a constant reminder. The United States can strike from anywhere, at any time. If the Yasin is a steel fist, designed to deliver one devastating blow, then the Virginia is a razor-sharp multi-tool stabbing, slicing, and cutting through the enemy's lifelines of communication and control. These two philosophies reflect the stark contrast between Russian and American military doctrine. Russia relies on direct deterrence, massive, fearsome weapons built to make any opponent hesitate. The United States focuses on total dominance, combining firepower, technology, and intelligence to maintain its global edge. Different paths, same goal: to project strength and safeguard national power. From an international perspective, submarines like these heighten global tension. They're not just weapons, they're political symbols. Each one sends an unmistakable message. Any reckless move will come at an unbearable cost. Through the Yasin, Russia proves that even without numerical superiority, it can still make the world's most powerful navies tread carefully. With the Virginia, the United States demonstrates that nowhere on Earth is beyond its reach. That parallel posture creates a fragile balance. Full-scale war doesn't break out, yet fear always simmers beneath the cold layers of the sea. While nuclear attack submarines like the Rubis, Astute, Yasin, and Virginia are built to hunt, threaten, and break an opponent's naval power, an even more terrifying tier exists: the true doomsday machines. These are the ballistic missile submarines. They aren't designed merely to win a battle at sea. They're built to guarantee that, if nuclear war ever erupts, human civilization itself could be erased in an instant. The Borei class of Russia is the clearest example. At over 170 meters long, with an enormous displacement of roughly 24,000 tons, a Borei moves silently beneath thick Arctic ice like a sleeping giant. The horror lies in the fact that it carries 16 Bulava intercontinental ballistic missiles, each capable of carrying multiple independent nuclear warheads. One Borei alone can level dozens of medium-sized cities, turning a nation's map into a wasteland. People even call them doomsday ghosts. With a single order from the Kremlin, these machines can open their missile tubes and unleash nuclear hell anywhere on the planet. Borei's existence is not only a tool of deterrence, but a guarantee of mutual destruction. When Russia deploys them in the Arctic or the Pacific, the message to the world is blunt and unmistakable. Any enemy thinking of striking Russia with nuclear weapons would suffer an unfathomable price. That is why they are regarded as a cornerstone of Moscow's strategic deterrent in the 21st century. Hidden beneath kilometers of ice, they are hard to detect. Borei hangs above humanity like a sword, waiting for a fateful moment to fall. Across the ocean, the United States fields a class of submarines that spreads a similar kind of dread, the Ohio class. These guardians of the apocalypse have been both the pride and the backbone of U.S. naval nuclear deterrence for decades. Each Ohio stretches more than 170 meters and displaces over 18,000 tons, capable of carrying up to 24 ballistic missiles armed with Trident II, D-5 warheads. The Trident is one of the most precise and fearsome missiles ever built. Each missile can carry multiple nuclear warheads enough to destroy many cities at once. That means a single Ohio could, in theory, flatten over 200 cities within a matter of minutes. Even more terrifying, these missiles travel at phenomenal speeds on the order of tens of thousands of kilometers per hour, so they can strike any target on Earth in under 30 minutes, with only a margin of error measured in meters. It's technology that turned the idea of global strike into reality. Ohio's terror is not only its destructive power, but its mystery. These hulking vessels can stay submerged for months, moving in absolute silence so that no one knows where they are. That ambiguity breeds unease, an unseen threat that cannot be prepared for. With roughly 14 Ohio-class subs in service, there's always a number of them lurking in the world's oceans at any given moment. That is a cold warning. Anyone who dares attack the United States must be prepared to vanish from the map within minutes. The Ohio class isn't just a weapon, it's a symbol of absolute power, the embodiment of America's global dominance beneath the waves. And finally, when speaking of the true kings of the ocean, one name stands above all: Russia's Typhoon class. These colossal machines once sent chills down the world's spine during the height of the Cold War. At more than 175 meters long, nearly 30 meters wide, and displacing an astonishing 48,000 tons, The Typhoon remains the largest submarine ever built, essentially a fortress beneath the sea. Inside, it offered amenities unheard of on any other sub: a gym, swimming pool, crew lounges, and even a command center rivaling those found on surface warships. But of course, the terror of the Typhoon doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the arsenal it carries. Each one was armed with 20 R-39 ballistic missiles, each missile equipped with multiple nuclear warheads. A single Typhoon had the power to wipe an entire continent off the map. It was the ultimate symbol of the Soviet nuclear deterrent, a steel declaration that any strike against Moscow would be repaid with total annihilation. Designed to operate beneath the thick ice of the Arctic, the Typhoon could remain undetected by radar or satellite. From that hidden position, it could suddenly surface, open its missile hatches, and unleash a barrage of apocalyptic fire before an enemy even had time to react. The image of a massive Typhoon breaking through the frozen sea, silently revealing the doors to its doomsday arsenal, has long haunted the imaginations of military strategists. In the human psyche, the Typhoon is more than a weapon. It is a monument to absolute destruction, a steel leviathan embodying the end of days. It stands as a grim reminder of how fragile peace truly is, while such giants still patrol the dark, icy depths. Together, the WWII and the Typhoon show that nuclear submarines are not merely instruments of war, they are instruments of politics, strategic weapons that shape the balance of global power. They exist to maintain equilibrium, to ensure that any nation contemplating war must first weigh the cost of extinction. Their silence is the echo of fear itself, an invisible warning that the survival of humankind may rest in the unseen darkness below. The 7 nuclear submarines we've explored today are not just cold steel machines prowling the ocean floor. They are living symbols of humanity's uneasy peace. The Rubis small, elusive, and perfectly hidden. The Astute silent and armed with cutting-edge precision. The Yasin a steel fist ready to shatter an aircraft carrier. The Virginia, a technological marvel controlling the battlefield from the shadows. The WWII, a guardian of the apocalypse. And the Typhoon, the colossal king of the oceans, representing the ultimate edge of destructive power. They do not exist to start wars, but to remind the world that a nuclear conflict would have no victors. Their quiet presence beneath the waves is what keeps the balance from tipping too far to either side. The world today may seem peaceful, but somewhere in the cold, silent depths, these steel monsters continue to roam, carrying within them enough firepower to decide the fate of all humanity. They are the invisible ghosts of the deep, the sword hanging over every nation's head, forcing leaders to think twice before making a reckless move. And the final question remains: will these submarines remain mere instruments of deterrence, or will one day they be unleashed, opening the gates to a global catastrophe? If you want to keep uncovering the world's most shocking military secrets, don't forget to subscribe to Black Ops Files. We have more stories to tell where the truth is often more terrifying than fiction.